What's up, guys? It's Branden Flasch. Today, you're joining me in my Ford F-150 Lightning. We are in Lino Lakes, Minnesota. We're headed all the way up the North Shore, past Duluth. Final destination to be determined, but we're at least going to Gooseberry Falls and maybe even beyond. But let's come along for a beautiful drive up of northern Minnesota. So here is my 2022 F-150 Lightning Lariat extended range. We actually drove this up from Charlotte, North Carolina. Definitely check out those videos if you haven't already. But we are in Lino Lakes, Minnesota. Let me show you some of my trips here from our driving around. So this is since we've been in Minnesota, so 372.9 miles since we arrived. So I'm going to reset that. And then we're going to leave this trip. So this is since we left Charlotte. So 1,580 miles, 1.8 miles per kilowatt hour, 60 hours or just shy of 60 hours. And we are just a hair over 58,000 miles on the vehicle. So that's a bit skewed because I've been leaving the truck running quite a bit here and there as we've been running errands. But here we have our route. This is kind of just a high level route. We're going to be probably stopping here-ish in Hinckley. There's a restaurant bakery called Toby's that has some pretty good pastries and stuff like that. They have Tesla charging, but it's a version 2 Tesla Supercharger. So unfortunately, we cannot use it, but it's a nice stop. I've stopped there many times in my previous Tesla. We're going to be staying the night in Duluth. So we're going to be going past Duluth. So there is a charger roughly here in Cloquet, Carlton area at Black Bear Casino. We may stop there for just a bit, depending on how this estimated arrival shifts. But at least right now, we're currently planning on going to Gooseberry Falls State Park, which is a beautiful area. I haven't been in many years. And then just kind of enjoy the beautiful scenery of the Minnesota North Shore of Lake Superior. So we're going to get on the road here shortly, but just wanted to give you guys an intro and then we'll hit the road. Well, stop number 1 will be Toby's restaurant. Looks like about 63 miles. And I'm just going to reset this real quick because we had it running for a decent bit while parked, getting the truck loaded. We have 130.54 kilowatt hour in the pack, and we are set to go. 95% of the actual SOC and 100% displayed, and the pack is at 26 degrees Celsius. Let's get to it. Well, we made it to Toby's. We've driven 62.9 miles in just shy of an hour, 1.8 miles per kilowatt hour. We're at 77%. Again, we're not charging here. There's Toby's. Let's lock the truck. I'll show you guys the version 2 supercharger over here. I've charged here many a time in my old Model S. So 8 stall version 2. This is one of the OGs. So this will get you between Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Duluth. I have charged many times on exactly that trip. Truck is looking good. Let's go get some baked goods. Bethany has never experienced Toby's before because she's never come this far north in Duluth, or in Minnesota. Well, Bethany got her Toby's for the first time and has decided that she wanted McDonald's because snack wraps are back. What kind of snack wrap did you get, Bethany?
Ranch.
Does that go good with the chocolate on your face? Okay. Well, we're gonna grab some McDonald's drive-through and then we'll head north to Gooseberry Falls. There's another Lightning here, getting some of the fresh fruit. They've got their frunk open, ready to load it up, it seems. And there you can see Toby's, so let's grab the McDonald's. How's your snack wrap?
Good.
Does it hit all the boxes you wanted to hit?
Mm-hmm.
made it to the Carlton Supercharger. Carlton, Minnesota. We're just outside of Duluth. If it wants to let me zoom out here. Maybe. That's in. There we go. So we're in Cloquet, which is kind of just outside of Duluth. We're going to go to Gooseberry Falls after that, but let's activate the charger. And the reason we're stopping here is that way we're going to arrive to Gooseberry Falls with 28% or so, which is, that's totally fine, but we're going back to Duluth. Well, actually, I didn't realize Gooseberry is past 2 harbors. That was a mistake on my part. I guess we could have actually just charged it in 2 harbors, and that would have been better. Anyway, let me just show you guys the site. We might actually charge here because of my poor planning, but this is an interesting site because it has 8 stalls, and 7 of them are on this side. And then I'm in a trailer stall here, which is actually extremely convenient for non-Teslas, with a charge port on the driver front. And they actually give you a nice little sign too as you approach. I'm going the opposite direction of how you'd approach, but Model Y with the trailer over here, Model S over there. So nice to see. This is at Black Bear Casino. Yeah, nice little install. Let me just make sure my plan is sound to continue past, and then we'll get back on the road. All right, so my mistake. Oh, there's another Lightning pulling up there, Twin Metals, Minnesota. So we're going to charge in 2 harbors instead of at Gooseberry because we don't need to charge here. I don't know why I made that mistake, but let's get out of here. My location. Why does it want us to... Oh. Sometimes it does some very wonky things, and Apple Maps does not always cooperate. So this should be my location, maybe. No, I picked the wrong one. Can I navigate to a supercharger? Let's see. Maybe. Let's just copy the address. How about that? Okay, that's just navigating to the town. 2 harbors. Supercharger. Tesla Supercharger, 2 harbors. So that one's at a hardware store, grocery store, so that's a decent spot. And 53 minutes. So we will stop there before we go to Gooseberry Falls, and we'll arrive there with 33%, which sounds pretty much perfect to me. You can see the Lightning charging there, but let's get back on the road since I don't actually need to charge here, and that was a mistake in my planning, but nice to pull off and see this site. It's been a long time since I've been here.
wow. Bag, bag girls, bag, bag, pop.
Well, on our way to Two Harbors Supercharger, just stopped at a little scenic overlook, and it is just beautiful here. It's about 20 freedom degrees cooler than in Minneapolis, St. Paul. And you can see kind of the water break there. And it's just lovely. There's the truck. Lots of homes along here as well. And very peaceful. So we're just gonna keep going on and continue taking in the scenery. Bethany, what do you think of Lake Superior? How does it compare to Maine?
Doesn't.
Wow. Well, we have arrived to the Two Harbors Supercharger, the right one this time. We have driven 164.6 miles. So that one will reset when we're done charging. We're at 35% state of charge. We are on Supercharger stall 2B. So let's do charge here. 2B, start charging. I think we're going to have a lot better performance than we have at some of the other stops we've made on the road trip, since it's a lot cooler outside. It's probably 20 degrees cooler than at the previous stops we've been at. So let me plug this into the truck first. Doing this about as awkwardly as one can do it. Just like that. So we're plugged in. Let's see it ramp up. So you can see our pin temps there, 20 degrees Celsius, so nice and cool. We're being offered 500 amps and we're already charging. So that was a super fast handshake, especially since it was already authorized. Let me start screen recording here so I can see the cooler temperature performance. Cooling's cranking up on the supercharger post and we're ramping up. Should see like 170 something kilowatt. Again, this is into the battery, not necessarily into the port, so into the port could be a bit higher. There you can see on my phone as well, 166 kilowatt, 175, and that's showing 176. So we're going to charge up to 80%, and then we're going to head up to Gooseberry. So it looks like about 14 miles away, so we'll use 4% at least, it says, going up there, and then we'll come back down all the way down to Duluth, and never hurts to have more charge. I'm not 100% sure what my plan is for charging in Duluth, so good to have options. And then we're going to go south, probably to Eau Claire tomorrow afternoon. Yes, Bethany, what are you laughing at?
I don't think you had a plan for charging on the way here either.
I sometimes have a plan.
I see.
All right, we're up to 177 kilowatts there, showing 180 on the Tesla app. So that is awesome. It's 34 cents a kilowatt hour here. And you can see a heck of a lot of lawnmowers. We're at a home hardware, outdoors, power sports. There's some ATVs and things like that. This is an 8-stall supercharger. So we've got a couple Model Ys, Model 3. And then there's a grocery store over there and a quick trip all the way over there. So I'll get some photos. You can see 29C pin temp, so definitely warming up a little bit, which is to be expected. But I'm curious to see how that goes. All the way up to 52% and still 182 kilowatts into the battery. So that is just awesome to see. Pin temp is definitely up. Battery's warming up a bit. We drove on some dirt roads on the way here. You can definitely see some dirt in the wheels there. A bit, some dust. Definitely more dirt in the back wheels. But even with all the dust settled back here and stuff, because of the seals that I added to the bed, there's nothing in here, which is awesome. Normally you'd have a lot of dust that would come up here. So really glad I added all those seals so that way I keep all my stuff nice and clean. With the seal, since I did the incorrect one, I do have to help it a little bit to close, but if you do the correct one, you shouldn't have to do that. You can see just rural things. And I don't know what that thing is, but it seems pretty cool, so I think we're just going to hang out here while we charge. Need to find a trash can. Well, we just hit 80%. We've added 61 kilowatt hour in 25 minutes, which is actually pretty awesome. We're headed to Gooseberry Falls State Park. I just put in the charging station that is there. It's just a level 2. So as soon as it completes at 80%, I will unplug here. I just like to let it complete. There we go. So charge set level. And you can see 105 kilowatt hour in the pack. And this was an awesome charging session. Until we hit 80%, it didn't go below like 119 or so kilowatt. So let me just unplug this, and then we'll get on the road. Well, we arrived to Gooseberry Falls. We are at 76% state of charge, 96.48 kilowatt hour in the pack. And we got very lucky because the parking lot's pretty darn full. But because we have an EV, there is prime parking right up front for us and free charging. Let's see how powerful this is. Those look like some pretty small conduits, so let's see. Don't really need to charge, but since it's here and gives us better parking, I see no reason not to, that's for sure. Let's just see what we get. How's installing shoes going for you?
Install.
Yes, you are installing your shoes onto your feet.
You don't install your shoes.
Putting them on.
It's fine.
What was the clunk we heard?
Nothing.
Okay. Looks like we're charging at about 5 kilowatts or so, so certainly nothing to complain about when it is free and gives us great parking. So we're going to walk around, and then we're going to head to the Split Rock Lighthouse.
Don't go any further. Next row open. Do not go any further.
Looks like we gained about 2% in the probably hour that we were here. We're over 100 kilowatt hour in the pack now. We're headed to Split Rock Lighthouse, which is only 10 minutes away. I definitely thought it was farther than that, but that's great. And then after that, we'll probably start heading back south towards Duluth. We'll arrive there with 76%. Bethany, what did you think of Gooseberry Falls?
It's pretty.
Do you have more words than that?
It's very easy to access, which is nice.
It's also free to visit, and they have free charging, so there's really no reason not to stop here if you're on your way on this route anyway, even just for a little bit, because it's not like you're paying and then feeling like you have to stay for a while, because you can just dip in, see it, continue on.
Every time I think about again. Is the future really possible without you? I'm realizing now I've been stuck here from the start. 'Cause I go one step closer to bed before the midnight hour, and I'm just waiting for a faded lift to ride home. One step closer to bed before the midnight hour, and I'm just waiting to do it all over. Don't keep sailing away into the edge of time. Wake up to find it all slipping away. In the dark, in the rain, I was breaking down. Don't keep sailing away into the edge of time. Wake up to find it all slipping away. In the dark, in the rain, I was breaking down.
Well, we didn't realize that in order to actually like go up to the Lighthouse, you apparently have to pay either $8 or $15. It's not entirely clear what's included with what on the website, and to just pay that to go and see the lighthouse seems a little much. If we were like here to explore and like, I don't know, go up in the lighthouse and spend hours here, then okay, but to just come and see and have to pay for that seems a little unnecessary. So we're gonna see if there's a spot we can just like see it from afar and take some pictures and then continue on. Well, we came and we saw the lighthouse, and now it's time to get on the road to Duluth area. So let's see what our route looks like and get to it. So thanks to the Siri integration, I guess, it already has the hotel loaded in my nav. Here are my Apple Maps. Let's see if it can get it. We have 1 bar of LTE. We're at 75% state of charge. Maybe. Doesn't even know where we are, which is like somewhere here. Try rolling a little bit forward. I guess we'll try again in a bit, but we've driven 188 miles today so far. And then since we left the state park, we're at 10 miles, 2 miles per kilowatt hour. Well, it finally loaded. Looks like 58 minutes, 47 miles, and we'll get there with 57% battery. I would guess we'll get there a little higher though.
Walking down a lonely road, you found me.
it to our hotel, the Fairfield here, waterfront Duluth. And we're at 60%, 75.53 kilowatt hour. Let's see our driving stats. So that's since we charged at the state park, Gooseberry. And then 235 miles so far today. And this is a pretty beautiful spot. So we are right on like a little yacht area kind of thing. And what I'm seeing is that there are RV hookups over here. So I'm going to see if I can somehow use one of those to charge overnight, with approval, of course. But since there's not charging here, and the area where I plan to charge, kind of in the general Canal Park area in Duluth, looks like they're doing event rates for parking, which is $20. And I was going to just park and charge a bit while we get dinner and walk around and stuff, but at that price, I think I would rather just walk over there, I guess, but I think we'll see. So, time to get checked in, figure out what we're doing, and go from there. Well, we just got checked in. This hotel is surprisingly nice, which I guess it should be, because even though I use points, it is a very expensive hotel. We got upgraded to a suite, and we're overlooking some of the boats here in the harbor, and we can even see my truck, but apparently I will need to move because that's actually the RV parking. It seems not so promising for being able to use RV power to charge my truck, but we'll figure something out. What do you think, Bethany?
It's pretty.
Well, it's time to go get dinner and figure out charging for the truck. I think we're going to Canal Park Brewing, unless you found something else.
No, Duluth Grill's only open in the morning.
Okay. So I guess we're going to Canal Park Brewing, or Duluth Brewing, I don't really know. But that's where the charging is right next to. So we'll figure out how to maybe avoid the event charge and plug in there. Well, we arrived at the Canal Park parking, I guess it is. Let's see. So I'm trying to use the Zeph Energy app, which is, I've already talked about this in the past, like probably 3 or 4 years ago at this point. The ZephNet Charge app is like probably the most absolute garbage charging app I've ever used in my life. It requires a reload before you can even use it, even if charging is free, which I did in the past. Let's see if we can even activate this. So scan QR code. Okay. This is also absolutely not ADA compliant. So this one is, it doesn't even pull up what one I'm at. That's really dumb. So $1 to connect, which is also absurd. There should never be a session fee. It should just be the price per kilowatt hour. Okay, so I guess I'll plug in. Doesn't tell me which one I activated, but I guess I activated both. You can tell these have been sitting a bit. There's literally spider webs on them. So apparently these are Clipper Creek internals. There's a Clipper Creek handle. And looks like we are charging maybe. So we'll go to sessions, active. They literally have the labels Sharpied on. So it's telling me 1.1 kilowatt. Let's go to the Ford Pass app. And I did check, Ford does not allow you to activate these chargers with Ford Pass, unfortunately. So we're up to 5.4 kilowatt 6. Let's see if it goes up to the 15 or so that it should be. Because look at these labels here. So they are 64 amp continuous input and output on an 80 amp breaker. So 9.4 kilowatt, 9.9. 10.7. I'll give that a second. And then I'll show you guys how you have to reload. So you have to go to payment. And then let's see when the most recent payment I made on here was. 2021. So that was a very long time ago that they have held my $5 when I activated a free charger in 2021. We're up to 13.6. So that is promising. Let's see what it shows in here if it's still very laggy. Waiting. Let's see if that's all she's got. That might be all we got. Let's see. Let's do the math here. So 64 times 208. So that'd be about 13.3 kilowatts, which I think is more realistic. So I think 13.6 is probably all we're going to get here. We've got a Volt charging there, and then there's a Mach-E over there. So they are being used, but I'm glad I'm not sharing power, or we'd be getting half of that, which would be like a little over 6.5 kilowatt. Anyway, let's get to dinner and let the truck charge up a bit. Hoping to get to like 80%. We're at 60% right now. We'll also wander around the Canal Park area and see what else we find. But we enjoyed some chocolates, enjoyed dinner at the brewery, wandered around exploring Duluth. Now we're heading back to the truck. It's charged up to 80%. It's been charging for about 2 hours at 13 and change kilowatt. It did stop randomly because apparently my account ran out from the preload I did like years ago, which was pretty annoying, but I was able to catch it pretty quick and then get it going again, but lost a little bit of time there. And yeah, so we're gonna head back to the hotel, relax, figure out what we're gonna do in the morning before we hit the road back to Charlotte, which will be a second video or separate video. So if you haven't already, definitely hit the subscribe button for that one. Well, we're back at the car. I just found it interesting. So the lights on this unit are actually dead. There's like a slight glow on that side. That port is in use, that port is in use, and then looks like there's one down there that's out of order. Let's get unplugged. Let's see what we're at also. So we're at, once it loads, %. So let's unplug. Let me see what the cost of that was. So it looks like we pulled a maximum of 14.78 kilowatt, according to the Zeph app, which seems very strange. We were charged a $1 connection fee, and we used 31.75 kilowatt hours for a total of $7.35. So it looks like it was only down for 3 minutes between the sessions, I guess, and it was 20 kilowatt hour the first time and 11 kilowatt hour the second time. Luckily, we only did get charged one initiation fee. Also, you can see kind of how garbage this app is with how terrible it was scrolling just there. Let's look at the Ford app, see what that says. So 31.75 there. And according to the truck, 29 kilowatt hours. So that seems pretty reasonable, actually, that loss. We added 21% to the battery, going from 60 to 81%. And we have a whopping 4-minute, 1 mile drive, and the Apple Maps thinks we're going to arrive with a higher state of charge than we're currently at. Love that. Good morning from Duluth, Minnesota. We spent the night here at the Fairfield Inn, I think it's called. It was actually pretty nice. Parking situation, not ideal, and they don't have charging, but overall the hotel itself was actually really nice. We are headed to the Canal Park area just to wander around before we hit the road to Charlotte. So by some miracle, my truck state of charge went up to 82 and now it's back down to 81. It was 81 last night, since I had the AC blasting just now. Looks like it's about a 10-minute drive. We will park over at the solar canopy thing again and plug in for a bit while we're wandering around, because why not? We'll use the energy. And yeah, let's see what we get up to. So it looks like there's a couple different ways over there. It's a whopping 1 mile either way. So let's just go this way. I think it'll be a little bit prettier and get to it. Plugged in at 81, just crossed to 82%. We're getting 12.2 kilowatt into the battery. I am leaving the truck on so that it stays cool since it's getting warmer out. But yeah, we're gonna wander around and charge up.
Back to my workstation, grab my tool called the jacks to add a little head.
Well, we've charged up to 92% while exploring Duluth. It's right about noon, 12:04, and it's time to hit the road. So thank you guys for watching our adventure exploring Duluth. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We'll see you guys on the next one.